What's up there, ladies and gentlemen? Welcome back to another week of the EPL. This is week 2, where we're going to be playing against RobertVGC. You can check his channel out in the description below. We played Robert in Season 1, and he beat us. So, I'm looking for a little bit... I'm looking for some redemption. I'm sorry if I misspeak in this video. I haven't been feeling well this entire week, and it's very late at night, and I'm very tired. I had a long day of work, but I'm very excited to get into this video because I'm using a very special team. Now, everyone knows that I am a huge fan of Mimilax, and yes, I do have Mimilax in this game, and if Rob watched my previous week, he knows that I have Self-Destruct, Choice Band, Snorlax. So, hopefully he thinks that today, because I do not, I have the standard Belly Drum set, and maybe we can pull one around on him. So we're going to be using our EPL Week 2 team, and yes, you see that correctly. We're using a Maractus this week, and we have Torkoal. So Maractus is going to kind of feel... It's going to fill that role that Lilligant did in 2017 because it gets chlorophyll. Granted, it's not as fast as Lilligant is, but it can still outspeed majority of the metagame, and it can outspeed Adamant Choice Scarf, Max Speed, Landorus, Therian. So, it's a pretty powerful Pokemon, coupled with that Gracium Z. It does have it gets Spiky Shield, whereas Lilligant does not. And I have Hidden Power Ice on it for Salamence and Landorus, because I don't necessarily want to blow a Gracium Z on a Landorus. So, there's weather here, and this is not the weather that I wanted to see. He's using a QR code team, so it's Weather Wars all over again. I think if I remember correctly, he brought Sun last time we battled each other, and I think I brought something other than Sun. Or maybe he brought Rain and I brought Camerupt. I don't remember. And it wasn't too long ago that we had played each other. He does the Heatran, and I do have Earth Power on my Torkoal. He does have the Ampharosis, which is going to be the Pokemon that he is going to be using. I kind of like the lead of Maractus and the Torkoal. I'll be able to get up the Weather last if he does decide he wants to lead the Politoed. And then I do threaten with a Leaf Storm. Not Leaf Storm, I'm sorry, a Gracium Z based off of Solar Power. It's another thing that Maractus doesn't get over. It really, again, it doesn't get Leaf Storm. It gets Solar Beam, unfortunately. So what do I want to do right here? I feel like the Cresselia is a pretty solid lead for him as well. I'm going to lead Torkoal, Maractus. And I'm going to bring the Snorlax and the Mimikyu in the back. Another thing to note here is that he has the Tapu Bulu, in which my team does relatively well against, barring that I was going to say, barring that he gets off maybe like a Gracium Z or a Woodhammer into my Snorlax when I'm trying to set up. Let's see what he leads right here. He's going to lead the Heatran, and he's going to lead the Cresselia. Okay. Interested to see what he'll do here. The Heatran might feel safe against my Torkoal. I do have Earth Power on it. Interested to see whether or not he has Earth Power on his own Heatran. It probably would go into the Torkoal. So I'm just gonna... I feel pretty safe against this Cresselia as well. Torkoal is definitely not going to be getting knocked out this turn. Question is, what do I do with the Maractus? I could very well go for a Spiky Shield. And I think I'm going to go ahead and do that. Scout out to see what he wants to do. And I don't necessarily want my Maractus to be going down this early on. Alright, so no switch out. He's going to go for a Psychic into the Maractus. Okay, he's going to go for a Heat Wave. Perfect, because we're going to be protecting our Maractus. So he probably has the Politoed or the Rain in the back. That does a lot of damage. And it's Shuckleberry. Okay. So this probably isn't going to be doing as much. Okay, well, that does a lot more than I thought it would do, and that is a Shuckleberry. Okay. I'm going to go Earth Power right here because this will be able to knock it out, and I don't know whether or not Rob knows that oh my god. Man. So we're not off to a good start. We're definitely not off to a good start. I mean, granted, the Heatran did, in fact, miss the Heat Wave, so I guess that was making up for the misclick for the After You. Why you would After You on an opponent and why the cursor would be on the opponent to begin with, I don't know. It should automatically go to your partner Pokemon, but I guess that double Heat Wave miss makes up for it. Okay, so he's going to bring in the Politoed right now. Alright, so what do I do right here? Obviously going to bring back my my Torkoal right here, and I feel pretty good about bringing in the Mimikyu and then going for a Grassinium Z. Bloom Doom into the Politoed. This will still do a lot of damage through Protect. And I should be outspeeding both of his Pokemon too. Politoed could very well Protect right here, but you know, oh, he goes for a Helping Hand. Okay. So probably going to go into the Maractus, but if I get off a Grassinium Z, the Maractus has already done its job, and then I can get up Sun in the back too, and that kind of hinders the Torkoal's ability to do damage to me, and I can get up Trick Room as well. So the Maractus has already done its job right here. And they should be able to take out Politoed. I'd imagine they should be able to take out Politoed because this takes out Feeny fairly easy. Yeah, it takes out the Politoed. Okay. Great. If he takes out my Maractus right here, that actually would help me immensely, and I can bring in my Torkoal. Okay, does take out the Maractus. Okay. Alright, so I definitely bring in a Torkoal right here, because I want to make sure that I, okay, does have the Bulo. Alright, question is, what does he do? Does he Trick Room, anticipating my Trick Room? And is his Bulu going to be slower than the Cresselia? Because what he could do is break my Substitute and go for the Bloom Doom into my Mimikyu. I'm going to go for a Will-O-Wisp right there. And actually going to double up into the Bulu right here. Because if he doubles up into the Mimikyu, I still get a lot of damage off into the Bulu. And if he doesn't decide he wants to do that, and I'm in fact faster than the Bulu with my Mimikyu, in which I am, and if he Trick Rooms, that is a win-win. So we're going to get off a Will-O-Wisp into the Bulu. So is he going for a Fightinium Z? Probably into the Torkoal, obviously. He doesn't want to do that into the Mimikyu. Anticipating a Snorlax switch in and covering for my Protect. Okay, so that was a good play on his part. I'm really glad I got the Will-O-Wisp off. And it's good information to know for future battles against this Bulu. Alright, so Torkoal's going to go down perfectly fine. I get free switch in into Snorlax and as a burnt Bulu. And if he... it looks like he's going to be Trick Rooming. Wow, okay. Perfect. Okay. I'm already liking this so far. Alright. So we're going to bring in the Snorlax right here. I don't think I need to Belly Drum. I really don't think I need the Belly Drum. But I'm going to do it anyway. The Bulu is probably going to go for like a Wood Hammer into the Snorlax. That's fine. Going to be getting off the Belly Drum first. And then I can get off a Recycle the next turn, unless he goes for a... why did I not go down to half? It's not even IVs. This is the incorrect Snorlax. Well, that's definitely not good. That is, it's definitely not good. It's going to use Psychic. Okay, perfect. Alright. Okay. Really frustrated in my play right here. So I'm actually going to go ahead and I don't want him to reverse the Trick Room. So I am going to, I kind of want to make sure that I hit this Bulu, so I'm going to Shadow Claw that right there, and then I'm just going to go for the safe return into the Cresselia. Make sure I'm able to take that out so he doesn't reverse the Trick Room, and then my Mimikyu should be able to 1v1 this Tapu Bulu after I get off the Shadow Claw. And this is going to do damage to himself in return, and he still isn't able to take me out. So the Will-O-Wisp definitely showing its worth. And obviously he can't be buried because he is Grassinium Z. Alright. This is... Oh man, that really frustrates me about this Snorlax set. I made sure that the EVs were correct, but... I don't think I put the right Snorlax from my PC into my battle box, because I have like 20-some Snorlaxes. Okay, yeah, so I just Shadow Claw right here, and then I go ahead and go for return. Alright, so we're going to take game 1. Okay, cool. Kind of foiled our plan, or our... little trick that we had going with the After You, but fortunately he had missed both of his Heat Waves. I don't feel bad about that because I should have After You'd into my Torkoal to begin with, and the Heatran would have been non-existent, and it kind of would have played out the same way as that turn did anyway because he'd missed. Again, so I don't feel bad about that. I'm like more upset at the fact that I'm using the wrong Snorlax set. Not necessarily the set, I guess the EVs. Because when I belly drummed right there, I didn't go down to half health, which is definitely a huge problem because it can take me out. Alright, let's go with Lysandre again. Hopefully we could just take this. Because I'm really nervous against this team because it has Rain on it. Rain matchups against a Torkoal definitely don't fare. We don't fare too well against that. So how do I think he wants to adjust? I think he wants to bring the Politoed in the back again. He probably wants to switch it in on the first turn. Could maybe read into that and go for like a Grassinium Z into the Heatran. I feel like the Heatran's actually a pretty good lead. It's just that he didn't really use it to the best of his ability, but he didn't know about After You, and he did miss the two Heat Waves. So I mean, the Heatran is really good against this team. It really is. What about good old Mimikyu Snorlax right here? Actually, Mimikyu Horiyama, Torkoal, Snorlax. I feel like this is really good because I can get off a Fake Out, and then I'm going to underspeed the Heatran under the Trick Room and get off a Close Combat. I like that, actually. The only way that this plan kind of gets screwed up is if the Bulu switches in, but I can also Will-O-Wisp that, or if it just leads it. Yeah, he leads it. Okay. Now, with me going for this play, I'm basically banking on him going for a Trick Room of his own. And I don't necessarily want to play that game. Actually going to go for the double up into the Bulu. He withdraws the Cresselia. Okay. Into the Heatran. It's going to do a lot of damage to the Tapu Bulu. It's not going to take it out, but then I could follow up with an attack the following turn. Because the Heatran definitely can't take up my Hariyama. Because I didn't want to get up a Trick Room right there and then bring in my Torkoal, because my Hariyama likely would have went down. Alright, yeah, so a follow-up with a Play Rough should be able to take out the Tapu Bulu quite easily. I'm going to Play Rough right there, and then I'm going to go for a Close Combat right here. This Close Combat should be able to cleanly take out the Heatran. Could very well switch into the Cresselia right there, but he still risks losing his Bulu to a Play Rough. And if he switches into the Cresselia and protects the Bulu, he is at risk for me setting up a Trick Room. So he's in quite the predicament right here. Trick Room puts on a lot of pressure. And it kind of forces opponents to attack to prevent you from getting up Trick Room. Hopefully we don't miss the Play Rough. Oh my god! This is insane! This is absolutely insane. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god. The reason why I'm so frustrated, and I am frustrated, because yet again we miss a move that determines the entire game. We lost week 1 because we missed 2 moves in a game, and we got burnt by 2 Scalds. Twice on physical attackers. I'm really getting frustrated and just getting completely axed out. Man, I really cannot stand. I knew Shadow, based off of the damage that Shadow Claw did the first game, it wouldn't have knocked out the Bulu. I could have just went for a Will-O-Wisp, but my Hariyama still goes down right there. That is that's I can't win. I really can't. Gonna go for the Hail Mary Belly Drum right here, and then Will-O-Wisp with the Tapu Bulu. Because I feel like, yeah, the Heatran's gonna switch out into the Cresselia. Or the Politoed, okay, it's fine. Again, I could have went for the Trick Room. Playing a little risky because I literally have the availability to set up a Trick Room. I mean, granted, he can go for a... Oh, that's right, the fight to name is oh yeah, about that. Forgot. So, this will do probably 75%. I'll get my berry back. Yeah, it's not looking too good because I'm not getting up Trick Room and I can't protect. So that definitely was not the play. Just, oh my god, missing that fucking Play Rough is just determining this game right now. Because if the Bulu goes down right there, it's the Politoed and probably the Heatran, I'd imagine. Question is, can he knock me out with the combination of a Scald and a... Because I need to get up Trick Room right here. Alright, we're going for it. Going for a Trick Room. And then I'll recycle. I think he still is able to knock me out with a Scald and a Woodhammer right here. And even with... It's going to be a 4-2 with my Torkoal in the back. Okay, so he's going to Encore me in the Will-O-Wisp. That's a really good play, actually. That's a really good play. And we're going to get off a recycle right here. That does a lot of damage. Wow, a critical hit, of course. Alright, so it looks like it's going to be a loss in Game 2. I can't get away from the hacks. I really can't. It's just like, it's like inherent. Like, it's just, my cartridge is just hacks. At least we get the Will-O-Wisp off into the Politoed. So there's some residual damage for you. I guess I go for a return. He's gonna... He's gonna encore my Snorlax. And there's nothing I can do about it. Yep. At least I get off. At least I'm able to recycle. I guess. But yeah, this Politoed is a huge problem. Wow. Yeah, we definitely need Maractus. I think I might just go back to the Game 1's plan. I really don't know why I switched it up. There was really no reason for me to. I mean, Hariyama and the Mimikyu is really, really good against this team. I should have just went for the Trick Room, but I didn't think he was going to openly allow me to get up Trick Room, which he did on multiple occasions, and I didn't go for it because I felt it was too obvious. And we're going to go for Recycle right here. I think Grassy Terrain ends right here. If not, it's going to end after this turn, so I might switch out the Bulu into the Heatran. Or he's going to switch out the Politoed into the Heatran. I got to play this correctly because I can Earth Power an incoming Heatran. Let's see what happens right here. Withdraws the Politoed. Is it going to be the Cresselia? No, it's the Heatran. Fuck. We did the wrong thing. Thought he would just want to withdraw the Bulu. I guess it's Death Fodder for him. I could have just... Ah, man. I knew he was going to switch into Heatran. It's just a guessing game. Which one is he going to do it into? I felt like he was going to do it into the Bulu because Bulu takes non-effective damage to the... with the Earth Power. Alright. At least I didn't go for an Eruption and power up his Heatran. I'm going to play this out. I really am going to play this out, because if I can somehow get up Trick Room and he doesn't switch in his Politoed, in which he probably will his turn, not looking half bad. I'm really not. Because I have my berry, and I should be getting another berry back after this turn. So, and I think Encore ends after this turn as well. So as long as he doesn't switch in his Politoed right here, which he should, he really should. Because Encore, I believe, ends after this turn, and then he can just Encore me again into Recycle. Alright, Mimikyu's going to come in. He's probably going to Wood Hammer into that slot and Heat Wave. Okay, so he's going to Heat Wave and probably Wood Hammer. Sky's going to be broken. Berry's going to be procced. And then I'm going to get another berry back. Does Encore end this turn is the question, because then you switch in the Politoed if it doesn't end here. Doesn't affect the Mimikyu. Okay, alright. We're going to get off a Recycle. And it ends. Wow, okay, that's huge. I'm going to go for a Trick Room right here. I feel like it goes for a Heat Wave, right? He's probably going to go for the double up into the Mimikyu. So I'm going to switch into my Torkoal again. And then I'm going to High Horsepower this. So I feel like if anything's able to take my Mimikyu out right here, it's going to be that Heatran. Don't necessarily know the calculations. Because he's probably going to double up into the Mimikyu. The Heat Wave wouldn't have been able to take out my Mimikyu. Overheat. Into the Snorlax? I guess that's fair. But again, I'm able to get a Trick Room, so I don't understand the plays right now. Because this should be able... I'm at +6. So this is taken out... Regardless if you have a Shuck Berry or not, this is taking it out, yeah. I don't know. Again, able to get up a Trick Room right there. And you can very well switch into Cresselia, but I can just go for the return of the Cresselia the following turn. Interesting. Interesting. Very, very interesting. Alright. He's going to double up into my Snorlax. I don't... he's going to Scald and Psychic my Snorlax, which will probably take it out. Again, I really wish I had Protect on the Snorlax, but then I would have to sacrifice, recycle. Hydro Pump. What? Excuse me? And Psychic. What? Hydro Pump. That could have missed. Kind of, again, this is a QR code team, so this is obviously not his team, but this is really, really odd. Really, really odd. Okay. So he hasn't been calling me on this thus yet, and he probably will right now. But I'm gonna go ahead and go for an Eruption and a Trick Room. Let's see if this works out. He's gonna withdraw the Politoed, obviously. Okay. He's gonna go into the Bulu. If he Trick Rooms as well, it's the end of the game. Although I'll get a lot of damage off into the Cresselia. And he's gonna Psychic, probably into okay. Why does that do so much damage? That does so much damage. Wow. Man, Torkoal has garbage special defense. Either that or that is that's a highly invested Cresselia, which it might be because it has 2 attacking moves. He can Encore me into Trick Room. That's right. Yeah, that's game. He's gonna Encore me into Trick Room. I would forfeit right here, but there's no point. I'm gonna forfeit. There's no way I can win. He's just gonna Encore me into Trick Room. So missing that plate off single-handedly lost me that game. And I feel very comfortable that if the Bulu gets knocked out, I just automatically win. Because my Snorlax wouldn't have been nearly as damaged as it was throughout that entire match, because majority of the damage that was dealt was from the Bulu, especially from the Fightinium Z, regardless of it being burnt. And that would be one less Pokemon that I would have to worry about. I would force him to either bring in the Cresselia or the Heatran, and then I can follow up with possibly like a high horsepower from the Snorlax, threaten a Trick Room with my Mimikyu, and I would still have my Disguise. Very, very disappointed in that match. I can't wrap my head around how a 95% accurate move misses as much as it does. I can't remember how accurate Boomerang is. I think it's either 85 or 90%, but that missed twice out of the 3 times that he used it in a match before. And Scold has a 30% chance to burn, and it seems to burn me every single time. So, obviously, RNGesus is not a big fan of me. Maybe I should start going to church more often. But let's see. Let's see if we can pull this one out. I really did like Maractus, and I'm actually going to go ahead and bring Maractus because that's like the entire game right here. Question is, do I bring the Hariyama in the back? I'm a big fan of the Hariyama. I think it has a pretty good matchup. We're going to go ahead and do this. We're going to go what I brought in game 1. Hopefully not screw up the goddamn after you. Torkoal is just very disappointing. It's not as strong as it should be, and it just takes so much damage from Pokemon that just don't deal the damage. I mean, Cresselia is not that strong of a Pokemon. Even if you, fully invest it, it's still not that strong of a Pokemon. Alright, so we see the Ludicolo, and we see the Heatran. Not too confident in that the Grassinium Z would be able to take out the Ludicolo. think it should, right? We're going to go for it. We're actually going to go for it. And I'm going to Earth Power the Heatran. Let's go for it. He's probably going to switch in his Politoed. If he switches in his Politoed and protects his Ludicolo, this man is a genius. But I don't know whether he'll do it. I mean, this is kind of my play right here, because the Ludicolo really does threaten my team. I'm not too worried about the Heatran. My Torkoal does fairly well against it. I have the Snorlax in the back. The Cresselia comes in. Okay. So I'm going to get off this Grassinium Z into the Cresselia. Probably proc its berry if it does have a berry. And then I'll probably go down to a Heat Wave, but then I get a lot of damage off into the Heatran in return. And then I could bring in my Mimikyu and kind of play some mind games, I guess. Alright, actually, I'd rather have... Okay, it's Citrus Berry. Alright. So Heat Wave's going to come out. My Maractus is definitely going to be going down right here. Again, Torkoal is just way too weak. That is a resisted Heat Wave. We're in the sun, but come on. Man, no wonder why I never used Torkoal in 2017. Alright, so we're going to bring in the Mimikyu right here. I should have just left Torkoal in the back, but that single-handedly loses me the Weather War. So the Heatran should be attacking before the Cresselia, but the Cresselia could very well go for a Trick Room. I already burnt my Z move. I'm going to go for it. And then I'm going to go ahead and go for a Earth Power into the Heatran. If he attacks with the Cresselia, he would have to double up my Torkoal in order to take it out. I think it's going to switch into Politoed. Okay, he switches into Politoed, probably threatening the Encore the following turn after I go for the Trick Room. He's got a Trick Room right here with his Cresselia. Oh no, he goes for the Psychic. Okay. Into the Mimikyu. Okay, he's going to break my Substitute. Gets a special defense drop, which I definitely didn't need. It doesn't help my cause out at all. Alright. Wow, we get a special defense drop. How about that? Wow. Something going right for us. Alright. So I switch in Snorlax right here. He's probably just going to go ahead and double up into the Mimikyu, which would be the smartest play, because my obvious play is to switch out my Mimikyu into the Snorlax. Yeah, I really can't. I can't let him Encore me into Trick Room and then have my Torkoal out here to be attacked. I really can't have him do that. And then I'm going to go for another Earth Power into the Politoed. If he knocks my Torkoal out, you know, it's whatever at this point. The Protect from the Torkoal is just incredibly obvious. If he does attack into the Torkoal, I get a free switch in and a Mimikyu, I guess. I don't have to Belly Drum with my Snorlax, okay? He's going to switch out the Politoed. He's going to go into the Ludicolo. Okay. Does nothing to the Ludicolo. And he goes for a Psychic into the Torkoal. Hopefully it takes me out, in which it doesn't. When I want to actually get taken out, I don't get taken out. Go into the Mimikyu right here. Oh, man. I don't think he's going to fake out. I guess the Snorlax. Okay. He's Life Orb. What? He goes for a Trick Room. Okay. Let's go for it. He's probably going to attack with the Ludicolo into the Mimikyu. But then again, he lets me get up a Belly Drum. And I think, yeah. Since with that fake out chip, this will actually put me in range for me recovering my berry. But hopefully the Hydro Pump doesn't hit. This probably will take me out. Yeah, he's Life Orb. If he wasn't Life Orb, it wouldn't have been able to take me out. And he's going to be able to Encore me. Yeah, so that's game. Again, there's really nothing I can do about that. I mean, like, there's luck associated with this game, and it seems to never be on my side, but there's nothing I could do about that. It's not in my control. I don't think... obviously, I could have played better. I don't think bringing Torkoal to each one of these games was necessary, because it really didn't do too much. It did pretty well against the Heatran in Game 1, but other than changing the war, and I really never won the Weather War, I don't think I needed to bring it, because the Horiyama probably would have been able to do pretty well. It would have been able to get off like a knockoff into the Cresselia. You know, close combat will do a lot of damage to anything, especially to that Politoed. The Heatran, I could have went for like an Ice Punch into the Tapu Bulu. And obviously, the Snorlax being the incorrect set didn't help, but it really didn't come into play. That it being the incorrect set really lost me those games. I feel like I rely way too much on the Snorlax, but it's kind of like my play style. I play quite defensively. I could have used the Mimikyu a bit better, but I wasn't anticipating him allowing me to get up Trick Room as many times as he did. And since I didn't follow through with setting up the Trick Room, he kind of capitalized on that, especially with using the Encore from the Politoed in Game 2. So I definitely could have played better, but I couldn't anticipate some of the moves that he had made, and obviously when luck plays a huge part in determining the game, you can't do anything about it. It's out of your control. But good games. Robert, we're going to go 0-2, so it's not looking too good, but maybe we'll do like a reverse of what we did last year. We went 6-0 last year. Hopefully we don't go 0-6 this year and then somehow win the rest of the games of the season. But we went like 6-0 last year, and then I think we won like, what was it, like 1 out of the last 6 games of the season, so we end up going like 7-5. We barely made it to the playoffs, and we end up going to the finals of the playoffs. It's really the only goal I have, is to make it to the playoffs, because that's where you can kind of have that breakout where you do really, really well, and I really liked my team in the playoffs last season. Anyway, that's going to be it for this video. I hope you did enjoy it. Kind of upset that Maractus didn't really do as much as that I was anticipating it to do. I was really, really excited about putting this team together. I felt that Maractus was a really, really cool Pokemon, you know, kind of filling the role of the Lilligant. It's not as good as the Lilligant, obviously, but it gets Spiky Shield. Come on now. And it would have really, it would have done well against majority of what the meta has to offer, especially against like Tapu Finis, against the Salamances, against the Landorus's. It would have fared really, really well against his entire team, but he played well in Game 3 with that Heatran, baiting out the Z move and then going for the Heat Wave. I just was not anticipating that, and the Heatran did really, really well against my team. So that's going to be it for this video. I'll be back again next Sunday with Week 3. I forget who my opponent is, and I forget the Pokemon that are available to use, but definitely check that out, and hopefully we'll be able to win that week. So take care, guys. Thank you for watching. Have a great day. Peace.